Hey everyone, I'd like to welcome you to the continuation of my series, Anniversaries of Gaming Legends. In this video I'll be focusing on a game series that I've been a fan of since I was a kid, Sonic the Hedgehog. I'll be looking through its history and considering its future in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. So let's start right at the beginning. Sonic was created by Sega to compete with Nintendo's platforming mascot, Mario. Sega wanted to do something different, so they came up with a character that was kind of invincible when he was in a ball. But that wasn't Sonic's main gimmick. Sonic's main gimmick was speed. They chose this at the time because the Mega Drive, or the Genesis if you are in the States, it works faster than what the NES did back in the day. So that's why they decided to focus on speed. And this title was released in Japan, Europe and USA and the rest of the world in 1991. For the Sega Mega Drive. But for those who aren't familiar with Sonic the Hedgehog games, you basically play Sonic the Hedgehog, the world's fastest hedgehog. In each level or zone in this case, especially with the earlier games, you collect rings and you open up special stages where you collect the Chaos Emeralds. In the first Sonic game there are 6 of them, but ever since Sonic 2 onwards there's been 7. But once you've collected all 7 Chaos Emeralds, that's when you truly unlock the ending of each game. But no hero is complete without a villain. Enter Dr. Ivo Robotnik. He has been the main villain since ever. But unlike most platforming villains, he actually builds his own army. And not to mention, he actually has an IQ of 300, so he is a very, very worthy villain of Sonic. But not to mention, his only goal is world domination, or building his Eggman Empire in later Sonic titles. So that's enough of the gist and the backstory of Sonic. Since its initial release in 1991, the Sonic the Hedgehog games have gone through many changes. For example, in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, we had the introduction of Sonic's sidekick Tails, who is a two-tailed fox and is very good at fixing machinery and building it. But we don't see that in the first Sonic games. Really, that don't come until later. But also, let's talk about the mechanics of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. In Sonic 2, we actually see the spin dash introduced for the first time, which is an awesome mechanic. I think every single player loves it who played Sonic the Hedgehog. And it helps you defeat enemies a bit quicker that are on the ground. But let's not forget about the 7 Chaos Emeralds. But once you've collected all the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, you get to become Super Sonic. But this doesn't happen automatically. You have to get 50 rings first. And once you've got 50 rings, you can transform into him. But not only that, Sonic the Hedgehog becomes invincible. And he also depletes rings after, every second. And you've got to keep getting rings in order for him to stay as Super Sonic. But the trade-off is a lot better. He's invincible, and not only that, as soon as you see Dr. Robotnik, he gets a kicky backside pretty quickly, which is always hilarious. And with the success of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, they had a third installment as well. And this game introduces Knuckles, the guardian of Angel Island, who was tricked by Dr. Robotnik, saying that Sonic is the villain and is out to steal the Master Emerald. And then the Master Emerald is what keeps Angel Island floating. Or it's dubbed in other Sonic media as the Floating Island. And Knuckles is, he acts like a protagonist in this game, trying to fend off Sonic. But with the introduction of Sonic and Knuckles, which is a lock-on cartridge that you get when you buy the game, obviously, because that's what it is. It's a lock-on cartridge. It locks into Sonic the Hedgehog 3, so Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles become one big game. And in this lock-on feature, you get to play as Knuckles throughout Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. You know the levels for them. But once you've completed all the special stages in Sonic 3, you got all 7 Chaos Emeralds. You get another set of emeralds opening up to you, which are called the Super Emeralds. Once you collected all of them, you become Hypersonic, which is like a faster version of Supersonic, but it glows like different colours instead of the usual yellow. And once you've done that, unlocks the real ending at the end of the Sonic and Knuckles bits of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But after that, there wasn't really many titles, or decent titles. We had Sonic 3D, which was not that great. Some people like it, but personally myself, I think that was an awful game. Saturn days, we had promise of Sonic Extreme, which was a 3D Sonic game, but seen through a fisheye lens. I've got no footage for that at the minute. If Sega ever decide to make it and release it as part of the Sega Ages collection, that'd be great. You know, it'd be nice to see something like that. But during the Saturn days, you didn't see much out of Sonic the Hedgehog other than Sonic R and Sonic, what was it, Sonic Jam. And Sonic Jam was a compilation of Sonic 1 to 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. And that was pretty much it, where you had a 3D hub where you had to go into each and every game. After the Sega Saturn era, we also got the Dreamcast, which was Sega's last main console, unfortunately. But let's just go into this series, which was probably one of my favourite eras of Sonic actually, with the arrival of Sonic Adventure, which is a 3D Sonic title, which every other, including myself, every other Sonic fan was hoping for really. And I thought, wow, this was amazing. I was only like 14 at the time when I saw it, and I thought this was an amazing title. It's a 3D Sonic Adventure, it's fast, and it just looks awesome. But my only downside to this title was Big the Cat. I could tolerate the other characters, but Big the Cat, I absolutely hate, because his levels were so boring. One thing I can say about the Sonic Adventure game now, before I move on to the next bit, it is, the games from this point out are story driven for Sonic. One of the things I enjoy about it is, yeah, definitely the story, but also it's like a conversion of all the story modes as well, so you don't get introduced to every single, you get reintroduced to every single character again, which is awesome. And every single one of them have new designs. Look very similar to what they did back in the Mega Drive days, but I'd say the biggest change was Amy Rose, and I'd say Dr. Robotnik. Sonic Adventure was good. Let's move on to Sonic Adventure 2. And this game was not as, I would say not as good as the first title, but it was good. Instead of just playing different characters' stories in their own little story arc, you got two story arcs, Dark and Hero, where Hero consists of Sonic, Tails and Knuckles, and in the Dark one we have the two new introduced characters, Shadow and Rouge, in that in Dark, and you also played for the first time in the Sonic game, Dr. Robotnik. Basically, in this title, you have your two separate stories, but you have to follow each and every character during that story. So for example, let's go with Team Hero, you play Sonic first, and then you play as Tails and Knuckles. Then it's never rotated like that, it's always like you're like waiting forever for getting to the next Sonic stage, which is my experience anyway. Team Dark and Team Hero have parallels to each other. For example, Sonic and Shadow have very similar levels. Knuckles and Rouge, where they're trying to find the Chaos Emeralds, well, bits of the Master Emerald, not the Chaos Emeralds, the Master Emerald. And Tails and Dr. Robotnik have very similar levels actually, because they're in robot legs. Tails is in a tornado, which can walk now, and Dr. Robotnik is in his usual characteristic ship that has legs. So I think it was just Sega looking trying to make Dr. Robotnik playable. But as I mentioned earlier on in the video, this definitely was Sonic's last ever console title for Sega's main consoles, really. And after Sonic Adventure 2, we got Sonic titles on other consoles. Let's begin with Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 getting a remake for the GameCube, which I found was pretty neat because I'm a Nintendo fan as well. I honestly thought that was awesome. And not to mention, when I first bought my GameCube, they were the first 2 titles I bought. So they were the first 2 games I bought. And which made it better is they got a little bit of a revamp. Sonic Adventure got the DX thing attached to it, which is the director's cut, which opened up other stuff, ever so slightly overhauling the graphics. Ever so slightly, it's very subtle, but you'll notice it if you played the Dreamcast version. And in Sonic Adventure 2, you had the battle mode brought in, where you could fight each other, which I thought was amazing. We had Sonic Heroes brought out, but it wasn't only on the GameCube this time, it was on the Xbox and the PlayStation 2. But I, as you know, Nintendo fan as well, I bought it for the GameCube, which was, I wouldn't say it was the best Sonic game in the world, but it was okay. Now that I've talked about the main consoles, I'm going to talk about the handheld that was out at this time, but it was only on the Game Boy Advance. We got treated to a trilogy of games, Sonic Advance 1, 2 and 3. I thought these titles were a love letter to the Sega Mega Drive games back in the early 90s to mid 90s. But what's the best bit about Sonic Advance is you could actually send your Cheo from Sonic Adventure DX and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle to it, and you get to raise your Cheo on your Game Boy Advance. This was a relic from the visual memory unit from the Dreamcast, which served as a memory card. You could raise your Cheo on that. But in the Sonic Advance games, you actually raised it a bit better. But after the success of the Game Boy Advance, Nintendo brought out one of its most successful handhelds ever, which was the Nintendo DS. And this is where we see our next Sonic title, which is probably one of the best Sonic games I've ever played, Sonic Rush, where we got introduced to, it's not Big the Cat, no it isn't, it's Blaze the Cat, who was a princess from another dimension, to come and collect the Eon Emeralds to help fix what happened. Anyway, I weren't really following the story that well, I was more engaged with the gameplay. This is where we first see the boost mechanic brought in, and I thought this was absolutely awesome. Your entry to special stages were kind of weird, because obviously the boost gauge was first introduced in the Sonic game. You had to use the boost to enter the special stages. You didn't have to have 50 rings anymore like other Sonic titles. So you use the boost gauge to go onto this little ring where you boost and it spins. Then you enter the special stage, which is a shout back to Sonic the Hedgehog 2. But you had to control it with a stylus. So in the next generation of consoles, we got our first HD Sonic title, which was Sonic the Hedgehog. But the fan base, including myself, commonly refer it to as Sonic 06. I'll refer it to Sonic 06 in this video. But this was, it was beautifully represented in terms of graphics, but the gameplay wasn't there. It was a major glitch fest, and I thought this game is virtually near enough unplayable. This was a rush job by Sega trying to get a Sonic title out on the Xbox 360, which is the successor to the Xbox and the PlayStation 3. And Sega tried to rush this out. It wasn't that great, you know, it was glitchy. The snowboarding bit for Sonic wasn't that great. Sonic kept running off different edges, and it just wasn't that great game to play. Nice idea, it was a missed opportunity, but I won't say it's the worst Sonic game even though it's a glitch fest. And I'll tell you about this next Sonic title, which was Sonic Unleashed. This is a very, very different Sonic game from what we used to in the past. Not only it's the first boost game where you boost a Sonic since Sonic Rush, but also Sonic changes his form, and this is to do with the story. Robotnik's trying to revive Gaia, or the Dark Gaia in this case, and it affects Sonic in a certain way that turns him into a werehog. It's not bad, but it sort of like waters down Sonic's speed zones or levels in this case, and it only happens to Sonic at night, whereas the day stages are not as normal Sonic. And I think this is probably one of the best 3D Sonic titles out there, because not only that, you had the werehog stages, which are, it was a cooldown period from the fast stages, but you also have an intricate level in each and every daytime stage of Sonic. And not only that, it's challenging, and you're trying to be faster and you're trying to be better, which has a lot of replay value to Sonic Unleashed. I'm still playing it to this day, and I think it's probably Sonic's best 3D title. Some people may argue Generations or Adventure, but I honestly think Sonic Unleashed is the best 3D Sonic title out there. As Sega's relationship with Nintendo grows stronger, Nintendo released an exclusive Sonic title for the Wii called Sonic Colors, which is basically the boost engine that they used for Sonic Unleashed, but with different power-ups with little aliens called sprites, which Sonic can move in the style of a laser, or he can drill underground, or he could just basically use his boost ability. And that's just to name a few. And to be honest with you, this game was probably one of the best looking games for the Wii. And this next title is to celebrate Sonic's 20th anniversary. Sonic Generations. And you see the return of classic Sonic in this game. And the story basically goes, how they managed to take it to fit in is Dr. Robotnik manipulates the timeline of Sonic in certain ways, and it brings back classic Sonic and classic Robotnik as well, and classic Tails. I thought this is a nice little celebration of the game. I still love Sonic Unleashed, I still think Sonic Unleashed is better, but this is a celebration game. I enjoy this game. We got to play as classic Sonic again, but classic Sonic didn't play like he did in the Mega Drive games, and I believe Sega, well, Sonic Team, couldn't replicate it. As you go through each and every one, you go through classic stages in the game, like Green Hill, Chemical Plant, yada yada yada, playing as classic Sonic and modern Sonic as he's dubbed in this game. Obviously the classic Sonic zones acts are of classic Sonic, obviously, but he plays in a 2D format, whereas modern Sonic is like uses the boost engine, where he switches from 3D to 2D. And I thought this is a nice little throwback to classic Sonic titles. And some people didn't like, they don't seem to appreciate the boost engine, but I love it. I thought this game was good. I was really impressed. Thank you, Sega. And Sega wanted to celebrate by bringing out the first, I know it's a 3D Sonic game, but it's a 3D event in the sense of when you go like to a 3D cinema and it just pops out on the screen. But I never used that. I don't see the point, but I thought it was a good game nonetheless. But a couple of years later, Nintendo got another exclusive Sonic title on their home console, the Wii U at the time, which was Sonic Lost World. This is a Sonic game that moved away from the usual Sonic boost engine, and you had a run button for the first time on Sonic, which was, I don't know, I don't really get it, but I thought it was a nice little change. Sonic didn't move nowhere near as fast, but Sonic can run along walls now at will by holding down the run button. Very limited though, but you can still do it. And also, Sonic had the lock-on button, as you know. Well, not really lock-on, but he locked on, and you can hit multiple targets at once. So you can go boof, 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 like that. And I thought that was a nice little addition now, because we had the announcement that Sonic was going back to his 2D roots. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. So what game is it? And I found out it was, as we now know, as Sonic Mania, which was developed by Sonic Team. This one, it was actually developed by Christian Whitehead and friends of Pixels and Polygons alike. And I must say, they did a very good job with this game. I was really impressed. It was sort of like a shout back to the classic days. And you played Sonic, Tails and Knuckles as you did normally. but also Sonic and Knuckles still have the same mechanics. Tails can fly, Sonic and Knuckles can glide, but Sonic had an extra mechanic built in. He could drop dash, which is you press jump, you hold down the jump button, and you hear like a little like something speeding up, and he lands on the floor and he just shoots forward, which is mint for time trials. That it was implemented in the Sega Ages collection on the Switch, and this game was getting released on the Switch, the Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4. And this is probably one of the first 2D Sonic titles to have DLC. We had the reintroduction of Mighty the Armadillo from Knuckles and the Chaotix during the 32X days. Well, the 32X was just basically an add-on for the Mega Drive. And we also had a Sonic arcade character, Ray the Flying Squirrel, which was he was a yellow squirrel that glided. And he was on a Sonic game on the arcade, something called Sega Sonic the Hedgehog or something like that it's called. Anyway, so these two characters were brought in as DLC, and I thought, you know, it's nice to play as different characters like that. Mighty is very similar to Sonic, and Ray can fly. Well, not fly, he can glide, but it's sort of like the similar mechanics to New Super Mario Bros. U. Similar kind of gameplay but he can glide continuously, so he can glide and pull up. But that wasn't the only one released this year. It was actually another game by Sonic Team called Sonic Forces, which kind of followed the story of the Saturday morning cartoon where Sonic was fighting Dr. Robotnik, but not the silly one. I'm talking about this Robotnik was very he was sadistic, he was a tyrant in this Sonic cartoon, but it's sort of like kind of similar to that sort of story. This certain Sonic cartoon is commonly known as Sat AM, and yeah, those who know about that will know basically the kind of story behind it. And Sonic Force was kind of going off that, where Robotnik took over the world. It was, this was a reintroduction to the boost formula again. It was kind of bland. It was okay, but it was kind of bland because all you could do was just press boost for the majority of the game, and you could just pretty much make your way through it. It wasn't that was not Unleashed. It was not as challenging as Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Generations, but the thought was there from Sonic 2 anyway. Right, with the history out of the way, let's have a look at its future, or speculate. I love the speculation bit. So let's start off with the success with Sonic Mania. This just proves that fan games can do as good a job as any AAA developer. Looking at you, Sonic Team. But also, it's a lesson for the AAA developer, because there's a lot of passionate Sonic fans out there, and Sega must take note of this. They do, you know, they don't mind fan games getting out there, but it's about time Sega started to recognise a lot of these amateur developers, because it could end up leading to a great career for them. And I think Sega is a good place to do it. Also, I've been looking around and I look at some of these fan games of Sonic, and even the 3D stuff is actually quite decent in comparison to what Sonic Team churned out. But my hypothesis on why Sega hasn't developed them yet, either they don't have the money, or, you know, to pay them, or they're probably too, I don't know much about computing, but they're probably too big in terms of memory, because you know, Sonic can take if you really want it to be that massive, it can take a lot of memory on a games console. But good news, games consoles are getting bigger and more powerful, and they can probably handle it. So that's that hypothesis out the window. But I think that's probably why they haven't done it in the past. But Sega really needs to, you know, employ these people, because they are talented. they are very talented. And I think the future of the Sonic franchise, especially the games, lies with indie developers, you know, which are hired by Sega in order to make it, because Sonic Team doesn't seem to know how to make standout Sonic games like Nintendo do with their Mario, because every single Mario title that's been out ever since, you know, back then has been in some way, shape or form more successful than what the Sonic one has, which is a shame really, because Sonic's awesome. And I think Sega needs to either step up the game or hire these developers, and they'll probably make quite a lot of money out of it. But at the moment, I believe there's rumours floating around that Sonic Adventure is getting remade for the 30th anniversary, which I kind of hope so, because Sonic Adventure was mint. And if Sonic Adventure is getting remade, Sega needs to keep Big the Cat out, because Big the Cat is absolutely awful to play as. I'm happy with any other character, just keep Big out. Big's awful. Also, they're probably remaking Sonic Adventure 2, I believe. It's only a rumour though. And, you know, it could do with a bit of redoing, to be honest, because it is quite an old game and it needs a lot of improvements if you're going to play it in the modern era. I don't know what to suggest. I'll probably start with tightening the controls and polishing upon the graphics and stuff. Probably introduce a boost engine, or just remake the game from the ground up but keep the story. But here's another rumour that's floating about. Microsoft, I believe, well, it's only a rumour, that are trying to acquire Sega. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. It kind of relieved and kind of shocked if they do it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, because when Microsoft took over from, you know, took Rare over, you had your classics already established like Banjo-Kazooie and Perfect Dark. Now, when Banjo-Kazooie was released on the Xbox 360, the Nuts and Bolts game, it was a car building game. It was a mechanical game. You build stuff. It wasn't a platformer like we're used to with Banjo-Kazooie. I think Microsoft were trying to do something different with it, but this game was absolutely pants. Also, Perfect Dark Zero was very bland. Wasn't nothing like the classic Perfect Dark on the N64. So I'm a bit on the fence about Microsoft taking them over, if that's true. Let's just see. I doubt it, but if Microsoft take them over, I hope they do something very creative with Sonic. Well, not creative, something spectacular. Because Sonic deserves a lot of respect as a gaming franchise, and thanks to Sonic Team and some of their questionable decisions, well, probably not Sonic Team's fault, probably Sega's, and some of their questionable decisions, Sonic has not got a lot of respect in the gaming community, to be honest. And Crash has more respect, and Crash is a much worse game. I do not like Crash for a start. It is very annoying game to play. I played the Crash trilogy recently and it was pants. Some people love it. It irritates me it really irritates me. And I do not like Crash at all. Tried playing the Crash Team Racing as well. What the hell? What's this? This boost mechanic. Gordon Bennett. I'm going to do a video comparing Mario Kart, Team Sonic Racing and Crash Team Racing. You can pretty much guarantee, man. Oh no. I don't know. But yeah, Sonic deserves a lot more respect. It really does. It put Mario on its toes at the beginning, and it should be still doing the same thing now, but it isn't. Sega treated it like dirt. So, your move, Sega. I want a decent Sonic game, and every other fan like me does. So, get making a Sonic game. And let's hope it's going to be awesome. I don't want another Forces. I want something on the par of Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Generations. Or Sonic Colors. And Sonic Colors was awesome. But anyway, yeah, your move, Sega. Thanks for the past. It was awesome. But some modern Sonic titles really should have had more time to develop. It's not Cyberpunk bad, but well, Sonic 06 was. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.